Alright y'all, today we're doing analog sounds in Serum, so warm synth sounds with a little bit of weird analog vibe to them, but you don't have to pay for analog stuff because look at my room, dude, I'm poor. I'm not paying for that shit. I have a baseball trophy up there. That goes to show you how lower middle class I am. And a piss jug. Don't miss the piss jug. It's not piss, I'm just kidding obviously, but it might be a little piss. I'm not gonna lie. I might have hit a squirt in there. What am I talking about? Let's get into the videos. Okay, so hopping into FL Studio here, the first tip that I have is more of a songwriting one, but it does tend to be pretty useful. So start out before you start sound designing by writing a MIDI pattern that you like and feel like works. So that once you go in and start making adjustments to your wavetable or the pitch of your oscillator or the envelopes, you can do it based off of the MIDI that you're inputting instead of designing a sound based off of one key and then hoping that you can write a MIDI pattern that works for that sound. So I'll just kind of adjust the envelope while it plays so you can get an idea for what you might be doing. So my next tip, which is analog related, is how can I give it some stereo with also a little bit of instability? And the easiest way that I've found to do that is right click your pan knob, go into the mod source and pick out Chaos 1 or 2 as your modulator. Then go into the global tab and just set a rate that feels like it works to you. And the reason that this adds stereo in an interesting way is because by default, Serum's oscillators always create 2 voices a piece. So as you can see down here, this little voice number is going to go up by 2 every time a note gets played. And your Chaos oscillators are unique because they're dual parameter modulations, meaning it creates 2 little LFO shapes, as it were, or like modulation sources that are going to put those 2 panned voices into different positions in the left and right channel. You can also set it to mono if you want to get more of like a rotator type feeling. So next, let's give it some pitch instability. Now, one of the classic ways to do this is add an LFO to your fine tuning, but the problem with that is if you're hitting all your notes at the same time, it just kind of sounds like vibrato. So another way that you can do that that's a little more unstable is by either setting it to be your Chaos modulator again, or you can use your noise oscillator. So you have to have the noise turned on for this, and I'm going to go into the matrix and kind of make it way more powerful just so you can kind of get a feel for what it's doing. So then your pitch here is going to control the rate of the modulation, and as you can see, you don't have to have the level on. So then you can just play your melody and use a combination of the pitch knob to control the speed and the modulation amount in the matrix to kind of tune it into what feels right for you. But then like if you wanted to add noise using the noise oscillator, the pitch that you set might not really work for your sound. So one way to give it a little warmth and noisiness instead is go into your effects tab and add tape saturation or tube distortion or some other kind of distortion, then crank the drive pretty high. Then just pull your mix knob back. So then after that, you might like add a little bit of chorus. I like to turn the low pass filter all the way up. That'll give you that nice warbly stereo. Then for the reverb, I am a little more picky about this, but like I like to have a really small size and decay, especially if I've added a lot of release to my sound. I don't need to add a second tail by using a bunch of decay. Then lastly, using the high cut to get rid of a lot of the highs in your reverb is a good way to keep a nice dark sound, which more analog stuff tends to have a little bit duller or darker, less bright of a tone. So then for this particular sound, I felt like using the bend plus warp mode and setting a macro to turn that up was a nice way to have a sound that I could really easily manipulate. Into a nice like bright shimmery key. Then before we move into post effects, one really fun thing that you can do with a pattern like this is just go into the portamento section down here, turn always on, and then turn your portamento up a little bit, and it's just going to make it bend between each of the new notes that happens. Like I said earlier, analog sounds kind of tend to be a little darker in my opinion. But for this particular sound, I didn't make it dark, and the reason for that is I put this out as a short, and with it playing on phone speakers, which is most likely what a short is going to play on, I need high frequency information or people will just skip it and be like, that doesn't sound good because the phone speaker doesn't play it that well. So I EQ'd this one not the way that I would typically do it. Then if you have a nicer distortion that has like tube emulation or tape emulation or transformer emulation, it's nice to add some distortion to give it a more like lo-fi-y warm type sound. So this is without it. And as you can hear, the Saturn just warms it up. So for the next example here, I have like some lo-fi-ish kind of analog sounding keys. So for the first tip that I'll give on this one is some general like overall analog tips. So if you're wondering what kind of wavetable should I use to make analog sounds, maybe try one from the analog folder. There's a lot of good stuff in here and you can get some good sounds out of all of those. Then if you're saying, well, what kind of filter should I use? There are 3 filters in here that I feel like do work best for analog stuff, and that's the French filter, the German filter, and the add bass filter. So this one I did give like a really small sub to, and the patch is super simple. It's just a basic mini, which is like a weird square wave with a little bit of pitch wobble on the fine tuning, a really sharp low pass filter, and then lastly some distortion in this second LFO, which modulates the panning on a phase filter to try and emulate what a rotator cabinet does. Then I just sent that through an EQ to really darken it up. Then for the keys, which are a good bit more complex, first off, I did a different trick where I'm basically using oscillator A panned hard left and oscillator B panned hard right, with each of the wavetables being slightly different, which gives it like a little bit of stereo. Especially after I add an LFO to the fine tuning of both of these, so that the pitch changes differently in the left and right ear, which gives it that like old school phasey type sound that you can even see a little bit in the spectrograph. Then another thing that I've done here is I'm using the noise oscillator as a sound source, but not sending it through my low pass German filter. So it just adds that little fuzz. Then to give them a little bit more analog feeling, I'm using FM from noise on both oscillators. And I've set up a macro where I can just dial in both of these FMs at the same time. It can get a little chaotic as far as the frequency modulation goes. So I just try and kind of put this at a point where I can feel it and not really hear it too much. And once again on this, the pitch of your noise is going to control where that modulation is kind of tonally, so just be wary of where you put this knob. Then one last thing you can do, especially with keys to give it a more human feel, is use the velocity tracking to determine the level of each of your oscillators. But of course that means you need to go in and change some of the MIDI inputs if you didn't play it by hand and if you just programmed it like I did. Then lastly for this, I just took the keys and compressed them a little bit and routed the keys and the sub into the same mixer track, which is called bussing, where I once again added like a tape saturation or transformer style distortion. And then added a bit crusher, which is just another plugin that you can use to get like old school or retro or analog style feelings out of sounds. Then lastly, here's how you can use Unison to actually get a kind of analog feeling sound out of Serum. So first of all, I think typically when people use Unison, they just turn this knob up, maybe mess with the detuning a little bit, and just get like kind of a washed out, detuned, wide type sound that also ends up being a little bit synthetic. And as you can see here, that's because when you change the detuning, the different voices are evenly spread apart, and you can make the middle voice a little quieter than the rest of them. So if I turn my Unison on here, you can see it's doing something slightly different from what the other one was doing. So all you have to do is go into your global tab, and then for the mode, pick out random. And then I'm actually doing another thing here, which is kind of cool too. That is for oscillator A, it's not detuning the pitch of each different voice at all, which is set by that little range right there. And it's just detuning the width a little bit. Then for the second oscillator, which is pitched up an octave, I have a couple less voices, but the blend is turned all the way up, which means all the voices are almost equally loud. Then I have that one set to random too, and I have a range of 9, which means the maximum detuning of each of my voices is actually 9 semitones up or down. So then you just have to kind of set this detuning level based on what sounds good to your ear. Then lastly, like let's say I want to add some noise to this. Well, you don't always have to use the noise oscillator for that. So for this particular sound, instead of doing that, I went into the playlist and just added a sample of an audio recording of some noise to the playlist, and even went in here and routed my melody into the noise recording as a sidechain to make that noise kind of react a little bit to the synth that's being played. Then lastly, since you've done it without the noise oscillator, you can go in and kind of shape your noise. So for this one, I kind of felt like a darker tone fit. A little better than super bright. Even though both would probably work, it's just whatever you feel like works best. So then lastly, I'm just sending this into a classic fruity distortion and just feel how different it sounds without the noise compared to with the noise. And so with that, y'all, if you want to support the channel, you can go to Patreon. It's $5. You get 500 samples and then 100 samples every month, because I do a monthly sample pack where you can vote on what samples you want in the next month's pack. Or I sell sample packs on Gumroad. I've just reduced the price of all those if you want to go get one of those. Then I also do private lessons. It's 25 bucks an hour, and you can get in contact to schedule one of those by going to the description and hitting me up on any of the social medias where I do not stay active, but I do answer the DMs. So thank you for watching, and I will see y'all in the next one.